So you guys are probably wondering, how the hell do I have so many Superfractor cards, especially a full lineup of Superfractor cards in my God Squad? And there are a couple things that factor into getting PXP. I've mentioned these things in the past. I've had specific videos pretty much each year, but I feel like this year has been by far the best year to get PXP, so I kind of wanted to revisit this topic in its own video. So let's get into it. So if we look at my squad, this isn't actually, well, this lineup is my God squad, but everything else isn't actually my God squad. I just assembled an entire parallel 5 team, except for one reliever. Yeah, I have 7 relievers super factored. I just need one more, and then I'll be able to field a full super fractor team. But ultimately, I have an entire lineup, an entire bench. I have plenty of other hitters that aren't even on the bench that are super fractor parallel. I have a ton of starters that aren't even on this team that are Superfractor, and then I have 7 relievers. And I hate to break it to you guys, but I don't actually have 50 Superfractors. I have 48, but I'm about to get 2 more if we go to my God Squad. Like, my 2 bench players, Willie Adames, he's right there. Mr. Kurtz here, he's very close. And then Arrieta's also close, so I only need 2 more. So I basically will have 50 Superfractors within 2 days of this video being out. But yeah, I feel like this year was the easiest year to get Superfractors. This is the most P5 cards I've ever had in MLB The Show, and it's almost September, which is kind of crazy. I think the most I had was in 21. I had like 30, and that was I played that game year round. I played that game through February. So yeah, I'm gonna walk through today how I get parallels so quickly in this game. So the first thing that I want to mention is they introduced double PXP weekends/weeks, and those are easily the main reason why I've gotten so many more Superfractor cards than I have in the past. Those are so unbelievably helpful, especially for pitchers, because if you have a starting pitcher and you pitch him in a 3-inning all-star game with the double PXP, which these numbers are double because we're still in the weekend classic, you're going to get like 500 PXP each game, and that's in an offline all-star game. If you do an online all-star game, it's going to be like 750. So you would only need to do like 10 to 15 3-inning games with one pitcher, maybe like 20 if you lack strikeouts or wins and you don't finish the game. But yeah, it's critical to farm the PXP and make sure you're very actively playing the game when the double PXP is going on. You know, obviously not everyone's going to have all day every day to play the game, but those weekends are critical for getting your parallels done. So now I'm going to go into actually specific methods that I've done in the past and are continuing to do. The first thing that I will say is, if you guys are playing Diamond Quest, make sure you have a separate team with players that you want to get paralleled. My entire lineup and bench, except for, like I mentioned earlier, let me go to my main squad. These guys are all Superfractored except for Willie Adames and Mr. Kurtz here, right? So why would I go into Diamond Quest with a full team of Superfractors? I would go into Diamond Quest with Kurtz and Adames in the games. Why would I, in the boss showdown, or whatever they're called, the stadium games, why would I pitch with Leiter, Kluber, or Clemens if they're already Superfractor? That's one thing. When you guys, and not just Diamond Quest, when you guys are grinding overall, if you're not grinding for specific missions for programs, and you're just grinding to farm stubs in Diamond Quest, or just to get packs in Conquest or something like that, if you don't have specific missions that you need, don't just use your God Squad. Use players on your God Squad that aren't Superfractor. So basically what I've been doing is I've been making a Diamond Quest team specifically for when I grind Diamond Quests and I farm stubs. That's a completely different, topic of discussion that I made its own video on. But when I play Diamond Quest, I have Adames and I have Kurtz in my starting lineup hitting first and second, because obviously I don't really need to Superfractor anyone that's not even going to be in my team. Like, there's no point, so I just have the rest of these guys. But about like 2 weeks ago, Griffey was not Superfractored. I'm trying to think. Napoli, Allen, Shohei, and Holiday about 2 weeks ago were not Superfractored. So I just put them in my team and at the top of my lineup. And, you know, obviously, if you have guys that are all 99s, you know, not even 99 overall, just great cards, you aren't really sacrificing anything, like your chances of winning. So that's tip number 1. Be cognizant of who you are using when you are grinding the game. Tip number 2. When you guys are specifically, like tip number 2 is just going to be its own method. So if you're literally just trying to farm PXP and you don't care about anything else, one way you could do that is, let's say this is the team that I want to farm PXP with. I want to get PXP with Kurtz and Adames and Arrieta. So what I would do is I would take this team into, just build a team of cards that you want to get parallels, right? And then have whatever pitcher, even if you don't have a pitcher that you want, just whatever pitcher you want to get parallels with, put him in the 5 spot. It won't actually affect it if guys above him are lower overall, but if you have all 99s, whoever's in your 5 spot, you'll be facing the 5 spot for the CPU. So what you're going to want to do, I'm not going to actually hop into the game. You're going to want to play versus CPU against the Rockies, put it on rookie, play as away, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go into play versus CPU and literally just farm and just destroy the CPU over and over and over again. There are a few things that you need to realize about playing offline or even online, or I don't think it is the same for online, but at least for offline and for play versus CPU when it comes to PXP. It will count stat missions, but it will not count PXP if you don't complete, and that doesn't mean get to the 8th batter, that means complete the 8th batter's at bat. So basically you have to have 8 complete at bats from your lineup for your PXP to register. And that's why you should always have a starting pitcher in your rotation that you will want to get PXP with. Because let's say I load into a play versus CPU game and I hit 2 solo homers and then I get 3 more outs. I've only made it through 5 hitters. I have to pitch for the bottom of the first, get my last 3 at bats with 6, 7, 8, and then I can quit. You're basically going to want to do that. You could also go around the order to 1 and 2. Like if I were just doing Kurtz and Adames, I would go back around to Kurtz and Adames and 1 and 2, and then quit just so they get 2 at bats. But you cannot quit until you have completed. Yes, you can't quit if the 8 hitter is about to hit. He has to have already hit, or else you will not receive any PXP and you will be wasting your time. So going back to Roger here, I've had him super fractor for forever at this point, but let's go back to the parallel page on a pitcher specifically. So if you look at the bottom, you will see play games. You see that category with the number 1. It has a 1.5x PXP for ranked events, battle royale, and co-op, which is basically just online play. One of the, if not the best, I think this is truly the best way to get PXP with a pitcher is by going into events and literally you just pitch with that player for the whole game. I was just testing something out there, but let's say, all right, lucky odds event. Let's say I want to get PXP with Cool Papa Bell. What I will do is I will go into events, pitch with Cool Papa Bell for the whole game, and then once the game is over, like, all right, let me go in. Let's just pretend like I just played a game. It'll say 1 win because, okay, maybe I would have lost, whatever. But let's just say I pitched a game with Cool Papa Bell, right? You're going to forfeit the entry after every single game you play because the stamina will replenish. If you don't, the stamina will not replenish and you're kind of screwed. You could keep playing, but they'll have no energy and they'll just get shelled. You play a game with a pitcher that you want. You reset your entry, you do that back and forth over and over and over. And it's, you know, it's a little grueling. All of these are pretty grueling grinds, but it's the best way to get PXP. The reason why you're going to want to do that in events is because you don't have to commit to anything. Like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, really. Obviously, they added those win-loss rewards. But yeah, you could be getting stats for the multiplayer program, but like you're not sacrificing anything in ranked if you're just like trying to farm PXP instead of trying to win games in ranked. Same with BR. You know, even though no one plays BR anymore, there's nothing stopping you from just pitching with that pitcher for the whole game and just keep hitting that reset entry. And the reason why that's the best method is because not only will you be getting a 1.5x boost for being in events, but you also get a boost for higher difficulty. If you play on All-Star, which is what the difficulty is for most events, it'll be a 2x boost. And that on top of double PXP means you will be getting quadruple the standard PXP. Yeah, that's just insane. And obviously you can keep using the players that you want in your lineup for events. It'll also do the multiplier, but it's just not as good as just playing the CPU because you're wasting so much time pitching. It's all just a preference of who you need and like who you want to get parallel 5. But yeah, those are two of the best methods. One for hitters, one for pitchers, and it works the same for relievers. You just start them as an opener. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's those three. Number one, make sure you're using players you want parallel instead of just your God Squad when you're grinding Diamond Quest, because it does track PXP in Diamond Quest, or just in Conquest or grinding if you're not grinding for programs. Number two, the play versus CPU method for hitters. And then number three, events for pitchers. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys are new here, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But most importantly, make sure to subscribe on here on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.